Hi everyone and welcome to my Unfiltered 20s.
A podcast about the ups and downs, highs and lows, and realities of life in your 20s.
By me, Abbey Parker,
And me, Lucy Martin.
with special guests every week.
Well, apart from this week.
Not this week.
Not this week. We were supposed to have Erica on, as we mentioned last week, but we've had a bit of a stressful week. It's been quite long. We've had a lot of work to do, a lot of stuff going on, so we just thought we'd just do it us two this week, have a bit of a casual chat, a chill, grab a cup of tea, a coffee, listen along. It's one of those kind of podcasts this week.
Definitely.
It's been the first week back at uni I didn't have stuff last week. I don't know about you. Did you have stuff last week, Abbey?
Yeah, it was a normal week for me. Because yours is running differently, right? I'm just, everything's online every week, turn up, blah, 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 but you're different, right?
Ours is like 1 week online, 1 week in person, 1 week online. But I think it's all going to be put online, but that's the thing for another day. But I think this week has been the first actual week of seminars, and I had my first online one earlier, and it actually went quite well. It was quite a nice experience, I think, because I don't really like seminars that much. I find them quite awkward, and I just feel like under pressure to say things, but having it online actually felt nice. It felt more chill, and you could actually focus on the content rather than stressing about the environment, which I quite liked.
Yeah, that's good. I found that one of my lectures slash seminars, that's a thing, by the way.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I don't think it is normally, but I had this hideous 3-hour lecture slot, and I was like, oh no, I can't be dealing with this. And then basically what it is half a lecture, half a seminar, a combo. So, but that's actually, it's quite a small class. I assume everyone does it at the same time, because otherwise he'd have to give multiple lectures of the same thing. But there's only 15 to 20 people in that whole module.
Wow.
So, but I felt really comfortable speaking up and stuff because it was such a small group. But then the seminar I had today, there was almost 50 people in it, which is a bit more intimidating.
God.
Yeah. And also the other one, the 3-hour one, everyone has their cameras off, so you just speak, no one can see you. But in this seminar, he's like, oh, I want to see everyone. And he's like, put it on participant mode in Teams, which basically
puts you as a lecture, right? It shows you in a lecture theatre, virtually. It's
like you're the speaker looking at everyone sat there in these little virtual seats, and it's quite intimidating. It's odd. But I didn't have to speak in the seminar today. Everyone was just asking questions, but I think he wants people to speak up. But I couldn't think of anything. And then other people were saying stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, that's quite a good question. But there wasn't anything that I was like, oh, I don't understand this, I have to ask this because I'm so confused. There was this one part of the lecture that got a bit confused on, but everyone was confused because we had this discussion forum, we have to all answer questions and stuff. So I think everyone was a bit confused, so he just explained that anyway. And he explained it using pseudocode. Do you know what that is?
No, I've never heard of that before.
Okay, basically, in computer science I learned this, right? So when programmers are planning what they're going to write in their whatever coding language, they'll type up pseudocode, which is in the middle of code in human language. So it's all written in normal English, but structured as code.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
That's why it's called pseudocode, because it's a mixture of both. And then, so he explained it using that, it was for people that know code, it was a for loop with an if statement in it.
Oh yes,
and in my head,
of
course. But in my head, it really made it make sense, and I was like, oh, I get this now.
Oh my God, she's a robot.
But for people that haven't done computer science, would have been like, what is this?
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, oh, that helps, because I feel like I do think about things quite logically in that sense. So seeing it written out in lines, it helped a lot, rather because he talks in a lot of he talks very abstractly, so he talks about all these things in metaphors and stuff, and sometimes it's a bit like, well, what are you actually talking about?
I get you.
So the code helped, but yeah.
I feel like one thing, like, no one prepares you at uni for what a seminar's going to be like. Because for history, in first year we had like a seminar and a lecture for each module in the week. But my first seminar was actually terrifying because you literally feel stupid. Like, I felt stupid and I didn't know what to say. And it's taken a good 3 years. And even now, I don't like seminars. I prefer them online when it's more structured. People don't speak over each other. But people really don't prepare you for what a seminar's going to be like, especially for us when they're graded. So you're literally graded on how well you can speak compared to other people, which I don't think, like, I don't like that. But I think for anyone listening who may be going to university for the first time, just don't be intimidated by other people or people that have started uni as well. It's taken me a long time to get used to seminars. I think it is hard, especially if you're not one of those people who's automatically going to dominate the seminar or likes to speak in front of others. It's like a stressful experience, but most people feel the same, and I don't think people tell you that early on at uni.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important that you know that it's never too late to start going to seminars, because when first year I was like trying to go to them, but I did get really intimidated by them and stopped going, especially because I feel like as well they trick you, because the first they trick you because the first few weeks of seminars, or the first week at least, is all quite introductory. So you're like, I'm not learning anything from these. And then as well, when they give you reading, it's like, well, I can just do this reading. I don't need to go and then talk to people about it. So first year I didn't see the point of going. Second year, I didn't have many seminars. We don't have seminars like you do in history. Psychology, it's more lecture focused. But this year, I have a seminar every week for every module, which has never happened before. It was like some modules I'd have one every fortnight. But now, I feel like it's a lot more... It's less intimidating going to seminars online. I feel like it's more like
100%.
accessible. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's amazing. People with disabilities, like, it's literally completely life-changing for them to be able to go to seminars that they might not have been able to go to before. And it does make you think, why couldn't they do this before? When people with like learning difficulties or people with like anxiety and stuff, I just think it's literally a game changer for a lot of people. I was completely against like online uni at the start. I really didn't want it. I thought it'd be really bad for my mental health, but I really like it. I think it's a lot better and it's a lot more, I don't know, like casual, and you do it at your own pace. And obviously the seminars are just literally so good. You can have all your notes out, like you were saying. You can have like all your notes out, write at your own pace, listen when you need to, and then not like do other things if you don't. And I just think like, I can't believe that we still have to have physical ones when they're like this.
Yeah, I think even post-pandemic, it would be great to have maybe if lectures are in person, but seminars online. Because I just think it's so much easier. Yeah. Because also seminars are meant to be a more focused group, but I feel like it would be so much easier for the lecturers to have online. Because even if like pre-recorded, or I don't even know, like it's more, you can have more people take a module kind of thing.
That's so true.
Yeah,
that's our uni talk. It feels weird to get back into it, doesn't it, after so long being away from it? It feels really weird to have to do reading again and stuff.
I'm finding it a little difficult to settle back in.
Yeah, me too.
It's like a lot, like suddenly I've ordered like, I'm not a book reader, I've ordered a lot of books.
You've had a lot delivered to the Amazon locker, haven't you?
I've had a lot of trips to the Amazon locker. Just various things. But yeah, there's this book that I'm gonna like give to my dad once I'm done, because he'd love it. It's about like, it's called You Look Like a Thing and I Love You, which is an interesting title, but it's basically about like machine learning and AI and like computer minds, like do computers have minds, that kind of thing. So I feel like that'll be fun to read. I might actually finish that one.
Okay, so what have you been watching, reading, listening to, enjoying this week?
Okay, so there are a few things that I'm ready to talk about. The first is films. So I watched the other night, got pizza, and I watched Monte Carlo.
Nice. Classic.
a classic. And then with Leftovers, I watched Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh my god.
Which I hadn't seen before, and I'm so mad that I haven't seen it before.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the book ages ago because I got it like for like £2 in the works. I've always wanted to. I'm one of those people that likes to read the book before I watch the film, but I just never got round to read. I never got round to reading it, and then the other night I saw that it had been put on Prime, and I was like, oh, I have to watch it, and absolutely incredible.
Oh, so you hadn't seen it either?
No, that was the first time I'd seen it as well.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, it was incredible. The best character was definitely her friend.
Oh yeah, her friend. What was she?
For sure.
I can't remember what she's called.
What, in the her character?
Yeah.
Oh, Peeklin Go?
Peeklin, yeah, that's it, right?
Peeklin. Yeah.
Yeah, she's literally...
She looks really different. Her, like, the actress's photo on Google looks completely different because she's got, like, long black hair. But obviously in the film she's got, like, bleach blonde dyed, right?
Yeah, like short,
like pixie. Yeah.
Yeah, she's so funny. I just think, like,
yeah.
what a great film. Like, the music was great, all the cinematography. Because I've never been anywhere, like, in Asia. I've never been to Singapore. And I was like, this is insane. It looks so nice.
I know. I felt so ignorant watching that film.
Yeah, me too.
Because I was like, I didn't even realise there was, like, cities that looked like this.
No.
You know? It was crazy. And also, if the young family house is a real house and it looks like that, that's insane.
I know.
It looks so nice.
The cast...
My little...
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, no, I was just going to say, like, my little, like, $1 million listing loving self was like, oh, wow, yeah, I can imagine, you know.
The cast was, like, so good as well. Obviously, Henry Goldring, I think that's his name.
Golding.
He was really good. And then I think her name is Constance Wu, she plays
yeah.
Rachel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I thought they had really good chemistry. And then also Gemma Chan. I've never seen Gemma Chan in a film. I've only ever seen her in, like, Channel 4 programmes. And I was like, wow. Right. Like, I just thought all the acting was amazing.
Yeah. And I loved her character, Astrid, her character's storyline. I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really, like, powerful, you know, like, at the end. Won't ruin it, but, yeah. But, yeah, Henry Golding, can we just talk about him for a second? Oh my god.
He was in that Christmas film we went to see.
Which was awful.
Yeah, Last Christmas it's called. We went to see it last Christmas. And it was literally one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, it wasn't that bad.
It was
I was
so
really
predictable.
enjoying it until the end. Well, this is the thing. I am a bit of a naive watcher when it comes to anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So any film or series I watch, I could take it at complete face value. I believe everything they tell me. I never try and predict the ending. I just enjoy it. And I think, I mean, there's a philosophical argument that would come into this, but I won't bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that I get more joy from watching stuff naively, and then there's a plot twist and I'm like, oh my god, like I didn't see it coming, like I did not see this plot twist coming in this film.
Mm-hmm.
And then we walk out the cinema and Lucy goes, well, that was predictable, wasn't it? I knew that was going to happen, it was obvious.
I'm too sus, that's why. I'm literally too suspicious about things.
You sus, bro.
I'm sus, bro. Like, I'm too suspicious about things, and I just knew that it, like, I knew from the start, I was like, this is too obvious, and I was expecting another twist, and there was nothing.
You literally were like, this love story's going too well, like there's something going on.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, Henry Golding, wow. Now he's just everything. He's just like the Asian guy in every film.
Yeah, it's true. But would highly recommend Crazy Rich Asians for anyone that's not seen it. It's like just a really great film. I haven't seen a new film in so long that I've been like, wow, but I really, really liked it.
Mhm. I mean, it's been a good week for films for me, because it takes me a lot to watch films, because it's like a big commitment, even though instead I'll just watch 3 hours of a series, but it takes a big commitment to watch film. But I watched Game Night, and it was so good. I really liked it. One of our flatmates was like, you have to watch it. And then, so I finally took the leap and watched it, and it was so good. First of all, great cast.
I need to watch it, don't I? You keep saying how good it is. I need to
Yeah.
commit and watch it.
So it's got Rachel McAdams in, who I love.
We love,
her.
About Time.
About Time, The Notebook, she's done it all.
Mm-hmm.
About Time is, I think, my favourite film that she's been in, though.
She was in The Time Traveller's Wife.
Was she as well?
Yes, I think she
Queen
was
of
the wife in The Time Traveller's Wife.
I think you're right, I haven't seen that, though. But yeah, she's romantic film queen. It's also got Jason Bateman in, who I know he's in Arrested Development, which I haven't seen. The first time I'd properly seen him in a role where he like really stood out to me was The Ozarks, which I haven't seen the second season. I stopped watching it because it was too stressful.
Mm-hmm.
My heart rate was just going through the roof when I was watching it, and I was like, you know what, I need to not watch this for the sake of my brain.
Mm-hmm.
But so I thought he was like a serious actor, and then I see him in all these comedy roles, and I'm like, wow, the range.
Yeah, I need to watch Ozarks because everyone always says it's really good because I like Narcos, obviously, and isn't it about sort of like drugs and...
He's a money launderer.
Right, yeah.
So it's like that side of it. So he basically, it starts, like the first 10 minutes is like him, they live in like Chicago, I think, and then him and two of his mates have been laundering money for this like big cartel in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Chicago, I'm not sure. But because they're like accountants or whatever, and they basically kill his friends. It is quite graphic, like you see them get shot or whatever. So yeah, I don't think you'd like it because it is graphic. And then he talks the cartel guy round to give him a second chance because he's got like this insane eye for numbers. So he's a really good launderer because he doesn't round everything up. He like does weird numbers so it looks real.
Oh, okay.
So then the cartel guy's like, okay, can you launder like 2 million for me or whatever? And he's like, that's way too much, like I can't do that much. And he's like, well, it's either that or I shoot you right now. So he relocates his family to the Ozarks. I think that's like the place in America, but it's like one of those towns where it's like dead 9 months out of the year, and then in summer is where they get all their money. But he's trying to launder all this money in the off season,
right?
So it's like he has to get really creative, and that's what the whole first series is about.
Sounds good.
Since.
Sounds good.
It is just a bit... It's just so tense. Because he never gets a second break. Like, he's just stressed the whole time, and it makes me stressed. So I can only watch one episode at a time. You can't binge it because it's too stressful.
I get that with a few programmes.
Yeah. Because Narcos was stressful, but bingeable.
Yeah.
I binged it.
Because also it's like... you know what happens, so it's not like,
It's true.
God, I don't know, like, I find Narcos doesn't put me on edge like other...
Yeah.
Also,
I mean, you know what's going to happen more than me.
yeah.
I'm a bit like, oh.
Also, I don't know, I feel like, because it's not in English, most of it, like, I'm not like, oh my God. Like, you don't get the same suspense.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't scare me as much, which is a good thing.
Yeah. I think Mexico... Narcos Mexico is a little harder to watch because it is more
graphic.
It is like
the Kiki Camarena stuff is absolutely horrible.
That was, oh yeah, that was the first season, wasn't it? Yeah, that was awful to watch. The three scenes that stick into my head from the whole Narcos like umbrella is the Kiki stuff. You haven't seen the Cali Cartel series of Narcos, have you?
I've seen a bit of it, but I haven't seen all of it because I got a bit bored of that season. So that's like Narcos season 3, right?
Yeah. I really loved that season. I have only watched it once though, so the fact that I haven't rewatched it, maybe, I don't know. But the security guy, Salcedo, I think that's... I can't pronounce Spanish things, okay, but that's how it's... He, like, they put like a bag over his head at one point, and it really... stuck in my brain, like it really freaked me out because you get so attached to these characters, you know, like,
yeah.
And then
I know what you're gonna say.
The third scene,
are you gonna say when Pablo gets killed on the roof?
No, that didn't bother me that much.
Really? I hated the photos, the real photos of them stood over his body on the roof. Like, it's horrible.
It is, yeah, that does, but it didn't. I didn't have to look away.
Okay.
Whereas the scene in Narcos Mexico where Felix smashes the guy's head.
Oh, God.
Oh, that was awful. Also, the scene where they go into that restaurant and there were like two American reporters.
Yeah.
That was awful.
It's horrible.
Oh, dear.
But I would highly recommend Narcos for anyone because it's there's such interesting stories. I do a module this year on the drug trade in Latin America, and honestly, it's literally the most interesting history. It's so different to anything that you'll have done at school or anything like that or anything you know, and it's just really fascinating.
It's quite accurate as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, also they get people that look a lot like obviously the real people. All the stuff, it really like brings the drug war to life because obviously it's still going on today, and you always see in the news stuff about Mexico about this cartel has shot this person. Obviously El Chapo's son was all that stuff went on with the siege of the city. Like it is very relevant. I'd really recommend Narcos to anyone that hasn't seen it.
Yeah, well, it's crazy that like because it obviously it is still going on, but you kind of picture these like really gruesome cartels and stuff to be in the 80s and not still going on, and then you see names like El Chapo come up, and obviously he's still in the news, he's still kicking about, and it's like it really makes you think about it, you know, because I think they're gearing up, aren't they, to do a season on El Chapo.
Yeah, he was, because obviously he weren't in Narcos because he wasn't about, and that's about Colombia, and then in Narcos Mexico he comes into the second season, right? I think.
Yeah. I think the next season's going to be on... I can't remember what his name is. I feel like his nickname's got something to do with a bird or something. He was part of the... Wow, I can't remember. The tall guy with the stubble and like the long black hair. Like Guy of Gisborne vibes.
Guy of Gisborne.
Is that a weird reference?
No, I know, I can't really remember.
Richard Armitage vibes.
Richard Armitage?
My mum loves Richard Armitage.
Robin Hood, the TV series, was incredible. That was
Elite.
the OG Merlin.
It was. Right? I was literally thinking about this, like, in the shower today. I don't know why, but I was thinking about Merlin, and then I was thinking about Robin Hood. Because Merlin, I remember, I think was, like, the first series that ended where I felt like there was, like, an empty hole where Merlin had been.
Me too.
But I didn't feel like that with Robin Hood. A, because I think I was a bit younger, but also I think once they killed off Marion, it was just not good. So I feel like once it ended, I was like, well, it had already ended in my heart. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was so good.
I
haven't seen Jonas Armstrong since. Like, where is he? Where's he at?
He was in something like last year. I remember he researched. Is that a word?
Jonas Armstrong.
He came back, but
he's Irish. I didn't know he was Irish.
He puts on the East Midlands accent. He's like Robin Hood. Also, last year I wanted to watch Robin Hood again, so I ordered the box set because the sadder I am, and it came and it was all in German.
Oh. That's so funny. What?
And I don't speak German.
He was in something called Troy, The Fall of a City.
Yeah, that's it.
Is that it? Got it. That looks good, to be fair. It's funny how people that play historical roles always play historical roles.
He does have a bit of I get like a historical vibe from him. Like he has like a face that would suit, and he has the beard and stuff. Like
the stubble.
Exactly.
In Robin Hood, he literally looks like he lives in a forest.
Yeah. That was, you know what was good about that series? They were all northern. Like it was.
Yeah.
It was
that's
like authentic.
True. I didn't think of that. They all had like the Midlands accent, didn't they? That's true. That was good. But I feel like they just kept adding characters, and I was like, I'm not invested in these characters. They just kept adding them. Whereas Merlin, the original cast, was still there at the end. Yeah. And you really built up that hateful Morgana, didn't you? You really, Final episode, I was like, I'm happy.
Yeah, I know.
I wasn't happy because of Arthur, but I was happy. I remember being really upset because, spoiler, but you should have watched it by now. Arthur dying.
Spoiler,
I was
the
so
upset.
That's true. But that's true. But I was so upset, and then my sister Maddie was literally like, "But that's what happened." well, a legend,
Yeah.
legend or whatever. She was like, that's just how the story goes. And I was like, yeah, I know, but they could have just saved him for, all of us watching.
Yeah, but I loved the scene at the end when Merlin is walking down the road and it's modern day, and obviously Arthur's like in the lake, he's in Avalon, and I was like, oh, this is great, because it's like, oh, like, when's he gonna rise again? Like, I don't know, I thought that was great.
Yeah, I mean, it was just weird. He's like walking down the road and then walking down this random country road, and then like a lorry goes past, and I was like, okay then. I don't know.
I also have a historical recommendation for this week. I've been watching The Crown.
Oh, I love The Crown.
I started it like a few years ago because I did British history at A-level, and it's the exact period that I did at A-level. But I couldn't get into it because I found it quite slow. But then the other night I started it again, and I really, really like it. I like the way that they do like the political and the historical, like, social problems, along with obviously what's going on in the royal family. So the best thing so far is all the stuff they did with like the Suez Canal and Anthony Eden's absolute mess with Suez and Colonel Nasser. I thought that was so well done, because I don't think many people our age know about all that.
I didn't until I watched it.
Yeah, and it's really like spicy history. It's really interesting. So
spicy history.
You know what I mean? All the spice, like.
Yeah. No, it was definitely informative for me, because I'm not that. I don't know. I didn't do history A-level or GCSE or anything. So I don't, like, I know people that can really, like our flatmate, he can literally name off every in order,
prime minister,
in reverse order, every prime minister. He can just like name them, and I'm like, I just don't have that. I don't have that. Like, I don't know. But so then it was interesting seeing the prime ministers, and then like how they portrayed Churchill and stuff. I found interesting, and I think I really liked the second season. Have you seen the JFK episode?
No, I'm nearly on that one, but I've seen...
That was my favourite episode.
Okay, I'm excited about that, because I love anything about JFK.
Yeah, same. That's why I loved it, I think. I love watching all the conspiracies and stuff. That's why you need to watch Umbrella Academy, because the second season it centres around JFK.
Okay.
It's good.
I have 2 book recommendations for this week as well. Because it's spooky season, I wanted to read something a bit spookier.
Yes.
So I started Donna Tartt's The Secret History, which is really popular. Like, it's quite famous now. I mean, it was out a few years ago now, but it's kind of mysterious. The blurb says, like, a group of New England students figure out a new way of thinking, which is like, oh, this is interesting. And then I'm 100 pages in. I still don't really know what it's about, but I'm getting secret society vibes, sort of cool, like, sort of, what are they called? Stonemasons, Freemasons, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But it is a bit unsettling. But I like it. It's good.
Right. I mean, I read the blurb and it gave me, like, secret society vibes. And is this, like, New England as in, like, in America?
Yeah.
Like Connecticut and stuff? Yeah.
Like Connecticut, New Hampshire, around that sort of area, I think. And then...
Gilmore Girls territory.
Gilmore Girls territory, as we are big fans on this podcast.
But that's the thing, because in Gilmore Girls, like, Logan's in the Life and Death Brigade, which is like a secret society at Yale.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's all those kind of
universities.
It all links, like colleges and societies, and it's all like very mysterious. Yeah.
And then kind of the opposite. I've been reading if anyone's listened to the High Low podcast with Dolly Alderton, whose new book came out today, by the way, which I really would like, and Pandora Sykes, like, they're both journalists. I think Dolly is like a columnist at Sunday Times, and I think Pandora used to work at The Guardian, but I'm not sure. But Pandora has a book called How Do We Know We're Doing It Right, which is like a book of essays about being a millennial and like modern life. And she is so clever. Her writing is literally so clever. And there was a chapter at the start on the wellness industry, and she basically said that, do you know, there's this concept by Michel Foucault called biopower, which means that the state has power over people's bodies and minds, because it both controls people's bodies and minds, and it gets people to self-control their bodies and their minds. It's kind of weird, but basically she says that the wellness industry, the global wellness industry, is a new form of biopower, because people feel the pressure to conform to like societal standards of beauty. Oh, I must have this wellness treatment in order to be happy. And it's like,
right,
it really makes you think about, it's like we were talking about the ads you get on Instagram and stuff for clothes,
freaky.
beauty. It really makes you think about whether you're doing these things because you want to, or whether the wellness industry has become so monopolised and they've literally taken over everyone's life to the point of like, you don't even get a choice because subconsciously you're just striving to be as happy or as well or as healthy, all in quotes, as everyone else. It's very interesting.
You should have come to my seminar today. You'd have some great points. But I mean, I do think that's interesting. I mean, I haven't watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix, but I feel like it related. But it's like people buy... We were having this conversation like literally today. The simplest products are normally the best ones for you, right? You don't need to spend £100 on a face cream that's got like all these essential oils in, because it's probably not good for you anyway. And like, you know, all these natural oils and stuff are the best things to put in your hair. Like, you don't have to buy all these expensive creams and lotions and stuff. And it's the same, I feel like at the moment, like hair vitamins are really popular. And it's like, what are they doing? Like, I don't understand. They're kind of low-key a scam, in my opinion.
Well, yeah.
Because they say that they help with hair strength and hair growth. And I'm like, I've never seen a hair growth anything. Like, not even a vitamin, but like, people are like, oh, do this and it will help your hair grow. Do this and it will help your hair grow. Like, I've never seen it work.
No, because it's all of that is natural. Like,
yeah.
the stuff that's like the ones that you get like to thicken your hair. Like, some people have naturally thick hair, some people have naturally thin hair. Like, I don't think you can really alter that.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's all these like hair vitamins, skin vitamins, blah blah blah. And I'm like, just take like vitamin C, vitamin D if you want.
Yeah, like,
I don't know. Like, I don't
health.
see why you need all these like supplements. Like, I don't think the supplements really. I think even if they do something, I think they're very overpriced. You know, it's, I don't know. I find that whole thing, and it's like, do you even know what's in it? What you ingesting?
That's the thing.
You know?
You see these, especially like American YouTubers, and they take all these. Oh, I'm just taking my hair vitamin. I'm just taking my skin vitamin. But what are you putting into your body? Like, surely there's more natural ways and like other ways to deal with having bad skin. Obviously, wanting thicker hair. Like, there's better ways than surely taking tablets that aren't always tested and proven. I don't know. That's just my opinion anyway.
Especially in America, though, basically you can put anything in the products, right?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I was watching these, I think it's called Food Wars on YouTube. I can't remember what channel does it, but it's like high production, so it's like a company. But I watched two. I watched American Domino's versus English Domino's, and then I watched American McDonald's versus English McDonald's. God. And it was insane. Like, the amount of stuff Americans are allowed to put into food and allowed to ingest, like, it's ridiculous. So, like, the chips, for example, because all the ingredients are like public knowledge. So in England it's literally potatoes, oil, salt, basically that's it.
Yeah, stuff you'd expect, right?
Yeah, exactly. America, it's ridiculous. They put like, so many of the chemicals are like lightening agents to make the food look better. And then they did a comparison, and literally the chips they bought from McDonald's literally look like from an advert, because they're all like uniform and like square and bright yellow, whereas in the UK they're a bit more floppy, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're not like sticks.
Right.
They're like normal chips, and they're a bit darker. But I was like, I would definitely rather eat them than these chips with like a list of 20 ingredients.
Oh, that's so weird. That's what I worry about with. Obviously, I don't know that much about it, but the European like food safety and health laws, I worry that when Brexit happens, we're going to end up with all sorts of random stuff in our food.
I know. It freaks me out because I look at America and I'm like, oh, that's such a mess. Like all the chemicals you can put in, and in creams and things like that. Yeah, and then in the UK and Europe, it's so much more strict, which is good in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I think so too.
If McDonald's start putting lightning agents into the chips, I'm gonna have to give up McDonald's. It'll be awful.
For anyone that wants an update on how the vegetarianism is going, we're still going. I haven't had meat. I did accidentally buy some chicken super noodles.
Oh yeah, that was sad.
And I was running out of food the other day, and I did eat them, but I don't think there's actually any chicken in them.
Right, flavourings.
But other than that, I haven't. And it's been tempting. Like the other day, Abbey had a Domino's, and there was these popcorn chicken things, which apparently weren't very good.
They were absolutely disgusting. Don't buy them.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because I was very tempted by them.
No, yeah, you're very tempted by popcorn chicken, aren't you?
I am. That's the thing.
Yeah, but because this is the thing, they're like the new Domino's menu. Maybe it was just my batch, but for me, the chicken tasted a little old. It tasted a little cardboardy, vomit vibes. So I tried to eat some, ended up throwing maybe 60% of them away because they were just not good. So I just ate the wedges out of that box. I didn't eat the chicken.
And you're not fussy about chicken and stuff, so I'm very shocked by that.
I do tend to be okay with chicken. So it was bad. And we gave some to Alex. She didn't like it either.
But I do have an alternative for anyone. I had the other night the corn frozen southern fried pieces, which are basically like southern fried chicken goujons but made out of like soy or whatever it is, and they were really, really good. Really would recommend.
I love a bit of southern fried.
They looked like chicken. They literally, like, I bit into it and it looked like chicken. It was weird.
Yeah. Well, that's what I feel like. Meat-free stuff's getting a lot more meaty.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
and I get what you mean.
It's a lot harder to distinguish. Like when takeaways started like coming back and stuff, or well, takeaways were still a thing, but we couldn't when I was at home, we couldn't get Pizza Hut because we're out of delivery range. We have to go and collect it. So obviously you couldn't go and collect it during lockdown. But then once it started opening again, we went to collect one, and they have quite a good vegan range. I'm not sure about the Domino's vegan stuff, but the Pizza Hut stuff is really good. Like, they have a Pizza Hut stuffed crust, which I've never seen a vegan stuffed crust before.
No, I've never seen that.
But my sister loved it. It was great. And we got these vegan chicken bites, and Maddie was like, these are the closest to chicken I've had since I turned vegetarian.
That's crazy.
It was weird. So yeah.
We should get a vegan Domino's and try it. I don't think I've ever had a vegan pizza. I've never, because I'm still a bit unsure about vegan cheese, but I did have one on a burger, some vegan cheese on a burger, like at Gourmet Burger Kitchen, and I actually did like it. So maybe I'm warming up to it a bit.
Yeah. I think as time goes on, it's getting better, isn't it? But I think cheese is hard. I don't know, because it's all milk, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
So I think it's hard to make.
We were talking earlier a bit about like school dinners, because we went to obviously like very different schools.
We did.
I went to like a pretty standard comp outside Birmingham, which is like pretty similar to most state schools in the UK, and we had, I don't know whether any of our listeners will relate, but if you do, comment on our tweets, Instagram, Pasta King. Right? I'm raving about Pasta King. If you know, you know, right? It was like every day, it was a big pot, they'd put the pasta in, and every day it was different sauce. I remember there was firecracker chicken, there was a tomato and basil, and that was it. It was Pasta King.
We never had that.
You missed out.
We had you know, the massive like metal containers, like they put in and then took them out. There was like a hot plate under or whatever.
Yeah.
It would just be a massive container of pasta that was like all stuck together, a bit grim, and then like the sauce, whatever. We, because I went to like an all-girls school, so it was kind of it was a little fancy. Well, so they tried to be fancy.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of failed most of the time. Some stuff was really good. Some stuff was awful. So they had like the turkey meatballs. That was the best. That was my favourite lunch.
I've never
To this
had a
day, I
turkey
still love it.
meatball. I've never had one.
Well, it's because they're basically like cheap meatballs, right? That's why.
Right.
Because they were quite small. But that was my favourite dinner that they did. And then lasagna day was a nightmare because normally they had like 2 meat options and a veggie option.
Mm-hmm.
But on lasagna day, they only had the lamb lasagna, or the veggie option was like a bean lasagna, and I was like, excuse me, what's that? That should be against the law, like that's disgusting.
I hate how you say lasagna, first of all. I absolutely hate how you say it.
How do you say it?
Lasagna.
What? Lasagna?
It's lasagna, it's not lasagna, it's lasagna.
Sorry, am I too posh for you?
Mm-hmm. You are, bro,
Lasagna. Well, earlier when you were like, oh, have you got your jacket? And I said it like you, I replied like, yeah, I've got my... I just say jacket, but you say it differently,
it's
but not that different.
Isn't it? It's the
Yeah. Yeah. I spend so much time with you, I'm starting to speak northern, it's scary. You're not even northern, but you're
not even
northern,
bro, but yeah.
Yeah. And then my favourite dessert, they did like a Rocky Road thing.
Mm.
But it was like... It wasn't like normal Rocky Road, it was really like dense. Like, a lot of people didn't like it because it was dense.
Oh my god.
And kind of slimy, but I loved it. I literally would finish other people's.
Wow.
Which I never got dessert.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really that bothered by desserts, but this I always got double, triple helpings.
We had, they were the best. And I've never seen them anywhere else. They were like flapjacks with like a layer of chocolate on top.
Yeah, I
Did
know what you
have that?
mean.
So they would be like
Yeah.
white chocolate. Sometimes there were pink ones, and then there was the normal chocolate. But the white chocolate ones were incredible. They were like 95p, and I literally got them like every day. They were so good. They were my favourite.
No, we didn't. Yeah, we had millionaire shortbread sometimes,
Mm.
but they put too much caramel for me. I didn't tend to get them that often.
Well, it's not the same as what like Alex, who was on last week, was telling us about what she had for school dinners earlier.
Duck à l'orange.
Duck à l'orange and mussels.
I'm sorry, that should know. Mussels?
Mussels?
And steak.
Bro, I didn't even know what a mussel was till I got to uni.
No, it's not.
Duck à l'orange?
Duck à l'orange. I can't believe that's ridiculous.
It's a different world.
We had to tell you what the worst lunch we ever had was. They did like themed days sometimes, right? So I remember I was saying earlier that we used to have like a performing arts day, which everyone would like get dressed in home clothes. It wasn't a home clothes day though, we didn't have to pay. It was like for fun.
Home clothes, first of all, non-uniform day.
Right. Oh yeah, well yeah, I call it home clothes day, but whatever. We didn't have to wear, so basically, we're all in houses, right? Each house would perform. Not everyone, just like the theatre people from each house would perform, and then we'd do 2 in the morning, and then we'd have lunch, and then 2 in the afternoon, and it was great fun. Apart from at lunch, we did like it was like, I can't even remember what they called it, but basically they were like, there are people that can't afford to eat, so to show you what hunger's like, we're gonna not feed you. Right. So we had like a tiny bowl of like water that they called soup and then a slice of bread, and that was our lunch. Right. But what they didn't take into consideration is that people just bought in snacks and then would snack the whole of the day, like the whole day people were just snacking. And then we just ate this bread and water basically. That was a really weird one. And then we had breakfast day, so we would have like a cooked breakfast for lunch. Right. But gross. First of all, I don't like bacon, but there's no bacon. There was scrambled egg, but it was like powdered egg. Oh. So it would be in the massive metal container, a full thing of egg. Oh god. And then they would like scoop out a square, and it would stay in the same shape.
Oh, stop it! That's disgusting.
It was disgusting. It was just like a bit of bread that got soggy because they chucked egg on it, and a little square bit of egg. Oh. I was like, what is this? It was disgusting.
I feel like most people have the same experience of school dinners. Like, if you ask most people, they'll have not very fond memories of school dinners.
Well, I don't think you can complain if you're getting duck à l'orange for lunch, though.
No, I mean steak.
Oh,
You can't complain.
unless it's like really gristly, but I feel like she didn't get gristly steaks at school. I feel like
unless
it was probably
they
quite good quality.
just don't cook it.
Okay, first of all, Lucy she once ordered well done steak, and it came, and she thought it was blue, but it wasn't.
It was bloody. It had blood coming out of it.
This is the thing, I feel like chefs get really... I remember my mum saying, like, oh, you have to order, like, medium, because otherwise they get snobby.
Oh, yeah, they get
think that you've
offended.
ordered it
They
wrong.
get offended.
Yeah, so then they undercook it. But...
I like it
So,
burnt.
yeah, Lucy likes it really cooked through, a little tough, that vibe.
Well, I used to.
Well, oh, yeah, before you were veggie, you're in order now.
Yeah.
But I'd go medium. I wouldn't go rare. I feel like that's a bit too much.
The people that have it blue, honestly, how?
No, no. That's too far even for me, no.
Mhm.
So one, like, more thing that I've been watching is... I've always loved Jenna Marbles. Since she started doing... I didn't watch her in her ranty days, but since she started doing, like, more wholesome content, I've been a huge fan. And then we're just going to sweep over the whole she cancelled herself thing. We're not going to talk about it because I just want to talk about the wholesome stuff. So I've been going back and watching our videos because she hasn't uploaded since June, maybe. I can't remember. When the whole Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson thing was kicking off again, James Charles thing, all that, it was the same time. Because she uploaded a video like, I need to address these things. No one had asked her to, but she was like, I'm going to address this. So then Shane Dawson, you don't care about this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Shane Dawson was like, I'm going to be completely open. This is everything problematic that I've ever done. And then it came out a week later that all this dodgy stuff that is like, you don't even want to mention. And then, so she hasn't uploaded for a while, so I haven't watched her videos for ages. And then the other day, I just was in the mood to watch some wholesome Jenna Marbles videos. So I watched her video reacting to TikToks, and I was literally cry laughing. It was so funny. And I don't know if it's funny because it's like objectively funny or just because it's her, like I know her personality and stuff. But I think the only reason Lucy knows of her or likes her is because of her dogs.
Her dogs are my favourite. Her little Iggy.
So your favourite is Kermit, right? The iconic Iggy. And then she has a Chihuahua and a Greyhound, and the Greyhound is so cute. She's so cute. But yeah, so now, since watching Jenna Marbles, I have like a weird obsession with like Greyhounds and Whippets and Lurchers and Italian Greyhounds and stuff. Whereas you've got a Lurcher, so that's why I feel like that's why you're obsessed, right?
Shout out Lily. If you're
Shout out
listening.
Lily.
Yeah.
Lily the Lurcher.
I
Lily
mean,
the donkey.
Lily the donkey, indeed. I didn't even like before because my mum basically went to the Dogs Trust with the hope of getting a Jack Russell, tiny little Jack Russell, and then they looked round. They thought they found one, but someone else had taken it, so they went back and then came back with a Lurcher somehow, a donkey. But we love her. They're literally the best dogs. Like, they're so funny. She does the most stupid things that just make you laugh. So I feel like anyone that has a Whippet, a Greyhound or a Lurcher, like, good for you. They're just cute dogs. They have a good personality.
I really want to adopt a Greyhound.
Yeah.
I think it'd be so cute.
I want an Iggy.
So
already told you, like, an Iggy is like, yes, please.
They just look so funny. Like, why are their chests so big like that? Like, what?
They also, like, their legs are too long for their bodies. So they literally, she sleeps on her back with her legs in the air.
Stop.
Straight up. All four legs straight up in the air. It's so weird.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
Are you joking? Also, well, you sent me a picture the other day of her, like, curled up like a shrimp.
Yeah, it's called prawning.
Like, her legs... Oh, it's got a name.
Yeah, it's called prawning. It's basically they wrap themselves up like a prawn.
Oh,
No.
Stop. I mean, I feel like I do that, Loki. When I'm asleep, I'm like a little ball.
She prawns. Next week, we are actually going to be joined by Erica. We need to speak to her about it still, but we'll hopefully have her on the show next week.
We need to let her know.
This week we're just tired. We just want to have a little chat, you know.
Yeah.
Have a chill
I'd saved the Crazy Rich Asians talk for the podcast so we could talk about it.
Exactly.
Because I was excited, so it was good that we got to talk about that and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks so much for listening to the 4th episode of the podcast. Make sure to follow us on all the different podcasting platforms. We're on basically everything now. I don't think we're on Apple, the Apple one, but apart from that, we're on everything. Make sure to follow us on socials. My Unfiltered 20s on Twitter and Unfiltered 20s podcast on Instagram for updates and general content.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.